Hello to all. So let's talk mammograms. I just went for my very first mammogram today. And I just want to talk a little bit about what you can expect on yours, what I was told. I'm going to start with some things that I was under the assumption. And that was that when you turn 40, you're supposed to go get a mammogram. And perhaps if you have breast cancer, history of breast cancer in your family, you'll want to go before then. And I had been told that women with smaller breasts, that it was a lot more uncomfortable, because you've heard women complain that it is not comfortable and that it can really hurt. So I'm sure the woman that did my mammogram thought, I have never had a 40-something-year-old woman ask me so many questions. She was probably so ready to get me out of there, because I'm a very curious person and I don't hesitate to ask questions about everything. First of all, she said originally, years and years ago, they would say, come get your mammogram at age 35 to 40. And then they kind of pushed it back to age 40. And now it's kind of 40 to 45. I am 46. So I was it was time for me to get one. We don't have breast cancer that run in our family. But she said, don't let that, fool you or deter, that you shouldn't let that deter you. You shouldn't procrastinate just because you don't have breast cancer in your family, because, there are women that get it and nobody else in their families had it. So there you go. First of all, you go in, they tell you don't put lotion on or deodorant or perfume on that day that you're going to have the mammogram. So that was a little odd, taking my shower this morning and having to go, don't put deodorant on, don't put deodorant on. And go in, they don't give you, like, at least my hospital didn't give me just one of those paper gowns. You actually get like a bathrobe. I came out of there and I told her, I said, how many times do you get asked a day or told a day that, hey, I want this bathrobe? It was so comfy. I loved that bathrobe. It was better than the bathrobe I have at home. And then she got some like background medical history, and then she started to explain the process, because this was my very first mammogram. The first mammogram is called a baseline. And they call it that because whenever you come back in the years after, they will always compare your new mammogram to your baseline mammogram, which is your very first mammogram, which totally makes sense, because they can go, oh, well, this looks different from your baseline mammogram. Like, there's a little something different here. Or, nope, nothing. Everything looks exactly the same. Nothing's changed since your original baseline mammogram. So, learned that little tidbit. And she clarified that, no, the rumor's not necessarily true, that smaller women will have more pain or have it more uncomfortable. It really depends on each individual and their breast sensitivity. I told her, I said, I've nursed 3 children. There is no breast sensitivity left, so I should be good. She said, I've had, large-breasted women that it's very uncomfortable, and smaller women say, no, this is fine. Really just depends on the woman. But I would tell you in a minute what it also depends on. And then she put me up there and kind of explained what was going to happen. She was going to take 4 pictures, and 2 were being, straight on, and then 2 from the sides. And the pictures from the sides, they're going to try and get some muscle. It just depends on how much she can, get up there. Like, how much breast she can get into the little contraption. So, and one good thing about it is the machine knows once it's taken its picture, the piece of plastic that comes down to kind of press on your breast will automatically come up. So that's a nice feature to know that, hey, you don't have to wait for her to come back around and push the thing up. It will be automatically. It will release as soon as it takes the picture that it needs. So on to my experience. First 2 pictures straight on, I thought, Because, you know, I've heard for years, many years, even growing up, whenever, teenager, whenever you start to hear about mammograms, I've just heard horror stories from women. And I'm sitting there going, oh my goodness. Women are, what? These women are wusses. I had no problem. I had no discomfort. I have average size breasts. They're not big. They're not little. They're just average size. Are they a little saggier than I would like right now? Well, heck yeah. I've nursed 3 kids. They're a little bit saggier, and I'm 46 years old. So they're not perky anymore, unfortunately. And like, if you're, you know, in your 20s, love your breast right now while they're perky. Embrace those breasts, because you will miss them when you get older. Anyway, no problems. I'm thinking women are wusses. So then she gets to the first side one. You got to kind of turn to the side. She did the left side first, and you know, she positions it up there. You kind of hold the machine out in front of you, put your other hand on your hip, and they'll do all the maneuvering for you. And then the thing came and pressed down, and then I felt like a little pulling on my skin. It wasn't necessarily pressure from the machine coming down on the breast. It was definitely pulling of the skin. So I thought, okay, well, this really isn't, I mean, it's not pleasant. I mean, it feels like somebody's pinching your skin, basically. But it wasn't totally unpleasant. It definitely wasn't unbearable, and it didn't hurt. It was just kind of a little, you know, uncomfortable in a way. I thought, still, I'm sitting there thinking, gosh, all these horror stories I've heard about mammograms, women going, oh my gosh, I don't want to get another mammogram. And then came the right breast. I don't know what got into the woman doing my mammogram, but she decided she needed more up there, basically. And she pulled, and the pulling, no big deal, and she positioned and she moved me. But as that thing came down, I could tell she got more, like, breast in there. Like, I think part of my armpit went up in there. Something. I don't know. That thing came down, and I said, woohoo-wee, okay. That's a little uncomfortable. She says, oh yeah, she says, it can be. And then she walked around to go take the picture, and the whole time I am gritting my teeth. I swear, I think enamel came off my teeth. And normally in between, I was talk, because I like to ramble on, and I'm asking her all questions, and we're talking about kids, and we're just talk. I didn't say a word. Maybe that was it. Maybe she thought, I am going to shut this woman up. I'm going to get as much and more than is needed. Yep, I am thoroughly convinced that's what it was. She was definitely trying to shut me up. Anyway, it was uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable. Like, hold my breath, uncomfortable. So I am sorry. I apologize to all the women out there in the world that I was calling a wuss while I stood there shirtless with my boob on a table. I apologize, because it was almost to the terms of hurt. And of course I asked her, because the curious person that I am, oh, can I see the pictures? She says, well, okay, I'll let you come around. She said, but I can't answer any questions. So I go, oh, I understand. You know, that's typical. X-rays, any type of test like that, they're not allowed, the person doing it really isn't allowed to say anything. But boy, she probably regretted that, because I had questions about everything. Well, why is this shadier? Well, why is this brighter? Ooh, are those my veins and arteries? Oh my gosh, is that the skin? Like, it can pick up the epidermis. Like, I could see the lines in the epidermis. Oh, it actually picks up the nipple. That's cool. Well, so the breast tissue, like my remaining breast tissue, in comparison to like the amount of fat tissue up there now. So breast tissue is denser. The fat tissue is, so basically on the picture, the breast, so basically the fat is more black, shadowy, and then the denser breast tissue is a lighter color. And then she got to show the one, and I was like, huh, well, what is all this on the side? No, I noticed a little, like a brighter, almost rounder thing. And I said, no, wait a minute. What is that? And what is like this line type thing? Or this, I didn't see it on the other one. So she says, oh, she says, that's actual, we actually got the muscle, which is something we try to do. And then I said, well, what is that kind of round pointed to it? What's that little round, shadowy, brighter section? She said, well, I really wouldn't say that. She says, but that's, you know, most likely a lymph node. And I'm like, oh, so this is the right breast. And she's like, well, yeah, how'd you know that? And I'm sitting there, seriously? How do I know? Because the left breast, she didn't get as far up in there because she couldn't see the muscle. The right breast, you know, the one she was trying to shut me up, she got a lot of like side muscle in it, so it got far enough to where my lymph node was showing. That's why it hurt. She got so much. But that's good. I'm glad she did, because that way they could see up. You know, does my lymph node look normal? So that would be nice. So she did very good. She did not give any indication whether anything looked good or bad, but then I didn't press her either. I didn't want to jeopardize her job by asking her, does everything look good? Well, is that shadowy part? Is that something, or is that normal? Because, you know, that's not her job. I didn't want to get her in trouble. I was just more of a curious medical standpoint of, why is this shadowy? Why is this not? Ooh, this picks up this. Like, I had no idea. The technology now can pick, I mean, it could pick up basically the wrinkles in my epidermis. I mean, that is like how clear it was. I could see that. I was fascinated by that. But anyway, I am rambling on about that. So after you do get your first one, your baseline, so now they are recommending that you come back every year. And that is because things change from year to year. I mean, one year, somebody doesn't have cancer. And then the next year, all of a sudden they do. One of my questions, well, does everybody with breast cancer get a mastectomy? I know some of y'all going, are you an idiot? I'm not. I don't know anybody with breast cancer, so I'm not versed or knowledgeable in breast cancer. And she said, no, not everybody. She says if it's caught early, then they just go in and take out the lump or any of the surrounding tissue. She said there might be scarring, but a lot of women nowadays do not have to get a mastectomy because they've caught it early enough. So that's good, because me growing up was kind of like, ooh, you breast cancer, you get a mastectomy. So that was an eye-opener, you know, to me. I like books and crafts and Disney World. I don't know a lot about breast cancer. So for all of you that are like me and just haven't followed breast cancer, everybody doesn't get a mastectomy, which is so, so awesome to know that if it is caught in time, that so many lives can be saved. And I'm going to go, I don't know that I'm going to go every year, because I'm not really a big doctor person. Like, I'm one of those that's going to wait to the last minute to go. But I will try to go at least every year and a half, just because of how many examples she gave of women that are fine, that they've been coming 10 years that are fine, and all of a sudden, bam, breast cancer. So I don't want to be one of those, you know, women that wait too long and have to get a mastectomy, that there is no other choice. So, you know, please, if you have breast cancer in your family, you already know. And they do. And then I asked, again, questions. I said, well, I've even heard of people that they have breast cancer in their family, it runs in their family, and they just go ahead and get a double mastectomy. And they've got nothing that shows that, you know, they've had mammograms, they show fine, but they still choose to do that. Well, she said there's genetic testing now that can kind of tell you, yeah, you could be getting, you know, you do have this gene or whatever, and you're a very high candidate for breast cancer. So I do understand that. That's like nip it in the bud. And I have had family experiences with genetic testing with ovarian cancer, and I'll go into that in another Let's Talk. We won't go into that right now. So all in all, my experience with my first mammogram was fine. But I went in there, I was not nervous in the least. I was actually more excited because it was something different, it was something new, and it was a learning experience. And because I got to ask 50 million questions, and because it was a new person that I met that I never got to talk to before, and got to ramble on about all different types of stuff, and I just like talking, obviously. So anyway, I would like to know in the comments below, please talk to me and let me know, what was your first mammogram experience? How old were you? Did you wait as long as I did, or you were a little nervous because you have it in your family and you went when you were 29 years old? But let's definitely talk about it. Let's support each other. If you feel like you want to share your breast cancer story, please do that, because I'm sure there's going to be other people that would like to hear your story, and y'all, everyone can support each other, and that's what women need to do. We got so much going on in our lives nowadays that we have to support each other. But anyway, I'm off to go read some more in my current book, and until the next page.